everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tech This Week. My name is Apalak. Today I'm going to talk about India's twist with digital payments and digital economy. Right? Despite a lot of big talks of the world and India in particular going cashless, and hear a lot about cashless economy. You know, we can't dispute the fact that India and Indians hold a special place for cash, not just in their pockets, but also in their minds. But before I get down into this, maybe it's important that we take a step back and we see how India's digital payment story has evolved so far, right? So, let's call it out and give it where it is due. So, India has managed to achieve a feat like no other country in the world, right? In recent years, where we've shown the world how UPI has become a game changer as far as digital payment space goes, right? I'm sure you will agree to me. While globally we've had many success stories of digital payment wallets being there introduced and seeing the success that it has. But I think conceptually UPI is a very unique offering, unique in its bearing, and the fact that it's seen so much success in a country like ours. And we take a lot of pride in not only success, but also being the country who came out with this concept, right? In fact, to substantiate my claim, purely in terms of numbers, when we look at UPI transactions, the growth rate is phenomenal. It has grown to about close to nearly 147%, and purely in terms of transaction value, it has grown around 157% in the last 5 to 6 years. Right, obviously fueled by UPI, India emerged as the global leader, mind you, as far as digital payment space goes, accounting to 46% of world digital payments. Can you imagine, for a country like ours, which has never been in the first spot as far as any tech evolution goes, we hold the number one spot as far as digital payments are concerned. So UPI, in fact, is so strongly entrenched in the Indian ecosystem now. And when I say ecosystem, mostly towards the urban development, right? We see so many stories of, we going literally cashless wherever we go, right? I really can't recall the last time I went to an ATM, right? And I took out money, withdrew cash for my transaction, because wherever I go, be it a food vendor to probably a supermarket, most of my so-called quote-unquote cash requirements are being fulfilled by UPI in itself. In fact, and the success story does not end with that. We've also seen FASTag being a very, very successful deployment as well. And you have to also understand the extent of the success, because India is a big country. To deploy something like FASTag, which is based on artificial technology, we have enabled a lot of things which were earlier unthinkable. Like many developed economies in the world, India also has its aspirations in place there is the drive towards making many areas going cashless. But one may also question, well, why is there this push for digital and as an alternative to cash? Just to give you a perspective, when I was doing my research on this, and we try to do our bit whenever we come out with a story for you, the average cost incurred to manufacture, store, and distribute a 100 rupee note is around 15 to 17 rupees throughout the entire life cycle. And therefore it puts tremendous pressure on regulators and also governance in terms of printing, distribution, and storage of these notes, right? So therefore, posing several risks such as counterfeit, spoilage, and security risks. We have known how cash can be misused by so many threat perpetrators to the state, right? But despite the digital push, cash has managed to sustain itself. And I'll tell you reasons for that. Because when we suddenly talk about the euphoric success of UPI, faster and so forth, and so you probably are under the impression that cash is going to go extinct. This is this is probably like a paradox. While UPI has been so successful, right? Cash in circulation in the economy has only increased, right? Back in November 2016, the cash in circulation was 17 lakh crores, whereas back in October 2023, which is just 6 to 7 months back, it stood at 33 lakh crore. It is almost doubled itself in the past 9 years. The question here is, can India afford to go completely cashless at this point of time? Oversimplified answer, perhaps it's no. And I'll give you few scenarios for this, right? Imagine a scenario where a farmer goes to sell his produce in the local APMC market. The farmer knows how to use a feature phone for basic calling purpose. Now, if that farmer is not equipped to understand and also is not confident to use something like UPI, it becomes meaningless. Also, let's take another example of you go to a very remote location, right, where you have internet connectivity issue, right? Will UPI work? So when we say going cashless, you're completely replacing the cash on the system, right? And by cash, I'm essentially talking about the physical currency, coins and notes. Imagine you are doing a transaction worth say 25, 50, 40, 50,000 rupees. You have to have literally 0% error in terms of infrastructure, right? So not only that, in fact, going cashless can draw a lot of criticism from the trading and business communities as well. Where traders might oppose it, right? We saw, for the case of demonetization, it can become an election issue as well, right? So digital literacy, lack of adequate communication infrastructure, reliability issues, security, and mindset are some of the areas that need to be worked upon before thinking of going cashless. So, how I like to conclude, like I said, I don't have a direct answer, but in my humble opinion, going cashless looks great on paper, but on-ground implementation, as of now, at least as far as India's goal, is far from reality. Like I said, the last financial disruption that we witnessed was demonetization. And for good or for bad, such a drastic effort led to a lot of challenges. There was chaos and volatility in the market, right? Imagine the impact of going cashless if done in haste or if you're unprepared. So I think what we need to understand is, when we talk about certain developed economies in the Europe, like Sweden, for the matter, to make sure that they go to the point of going cashless. Also, by the way, they are also in the process of going cashless. They haven't become complete cashless, but in order to do so, they have ensured two basic fundamental things, which is going 100% smartphone and going for 100% internet penetration. That is a backbone for any digital transaction. So if India aspires to go cashless, we need to first create a similar backbone for our country in terms of infrastructure. Right now, UPI success is riding on the urban population and is popular particularly among the Gen Z and the millennials, right? For India to become cashless, there should be a uniform access to digital transactions across every strata of the society. Besides, cash is still the most preferred mode of transaction among the business community, owing to simplicity, perceived tax benefits, etc. So in this entire thing, the two stakeholders, the government and the citizens of the nation. So until a government can address all these issues and can ensure equitable access of cashless payments across the segment of society and the most remotest part of the country, cash will still remain supreme in a country like ours till the day comes like that. That's a wrap from my end. Have a great week ahead.